Hello, it's me. We're doing another top 8 breakdown. This time it's going to be the Raid and Trade online summoner duels for Europe. And we got the deck list very quickly, thanks to Marshall for getting them to me, and thanks to whoever got them to Marshall for getting them to Marshall to get them to me. So let's, without any further ado, let's just hop right into these top 8 decks. We're going over every single one of them, and I will give you the names of everybody as well, because we like to make sure that everyone is properly credited for their deck lists. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below what you think of these deck lists, and let's get right into it. For number 8 deck list, we've got Francesco D running Green, Swift, Divine Bird, Tokiwa. This deck looks pretty dang cool. We got the 3 Beldegor because we're running, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 and 5 drops. Great choice to have the Beldegor in there with that Immortal 4 to 5. Then we're running some Great Sky Shadow. We've got 4 copies of this, able to Swift in, and it has Astral during your opponent's turn. So if your opponent's swinging in with some Astral stuff, you can block with the Great Sky Shadow. Then we've got 3 Astrara, giving some ramp in by paying the Soul Core. We've got 3 Mother Meadowbird, not only as a swift target for attack and defense, but allowing it to be treated as a 7 cost when you ascend into your Divine Bird Tokiwa. Then we've got the Bae herself, 3 copies of Forest Guardian Alron. She does Alron things, and she's still really good even in the set 5 meta. Being able to tap things down, ramp, just even the ramp 1 is really good, and Alron is pretty dang dope. Then we have a single copy of Calavencale, giving Gale 2, being able to exhaust a Nexus to ramp and pop a 4 cost or fewer all at the same time. So really, really cool. That level 3 ability is during either attack step, but I don't think there's any way to tap your Nexuses, or exhaust your Nexuses in the other sense, but just having that ramp and destruction plus Gale 2 on swing is really, really good. 2 copies of Wind Aegis Tokiwa. That recursion, of course, being able to recur back into your hand, really, really good. And the Gale 2. Though with these Gale Spirits, we're not seeing any benefit from Hurricane Highlands, but just having the Gale itself is still really powerful. And having the recursion from Tokiwa is pretty dang good. Then we've got 2 copies of Wind Tiger Tigard. It does have Swift and it has Gale 1. So, being able to bring it in and on Swift, either on offense or defense, of course, and being able to tap something down when it attacks and is blocked, pretty dang good. A single copy of Gale Ninja Ant Shadow, being able to Swift in, of course, create an Ant-Man token, and then being able to ramp onto any tokens that you create. 3 copies of Eva 08 Gamma 4 in 1 state, extra 4 in 1 state. This card's really good. In green, we don't have any red reduction, so this is going to come down for 4. Exhaust something. If you're doing it when you attack, you're going to exhaust something else. Just really good. Come down, exhaust something. Has a good stat line. Very good card. And then, of course, 2 copies of Divine Bird Tokiwa. Being able to come in off of a Prey Bird, being able to exhaust the entire board when you ascend off of a cost 7, and getting that ditch and draw up to your opponent's hand size. Pretty dang good. Overall, a very aggressive looking style list. Looking to put down a lot of tempo on the spirit side. And we have a single copy of Forest of Steel Leaves, the ability to protect the Infinity Mothership over here. We have a Births card set, and then the bounce on your opponent's Nexuses when your stuff dies is pretty good. 2 copies of Skybound Falls, giving all of your spirits 2000 BP on the turn that they're summoned, and we're swifting in a lot of stuff, so giving them that extra 2000 BP could be pretty dang good. And then at level 2, being able to draw a card when you lose life when, you take damage from a non-astral spirit. And then Infinity Mothership, just being able to, refresh all of your cores during your opponent's attack step, really good. Then 4 Ice Shield, 4 Star Bless, because we need to draw, 4 Beam Rifle, because it's still a really good magic, 2 Dream Bomb, 3 Floodstream to round out everything. Overall, very solid list, and Francesco took 8th with this list. Good job, Francesco. Coming in at 7th place, we've got Andrea F with Red Purple Immortal style with Brutal Dino Tyrannosaurus and Dinosaur Knight Dentist. Really, really cool build. This is something that I was trying to build at the beginning of set 5, but ended up ultimately giving up on it for a different style of Red Purple build. But this looks really, really cool, and apologize for my I apologize for my voice. I just sneezed like 17 times before I started recording this, and it'd be like that. It just wouldn't stop. It wouldn't stop sneezing. Anyway, let's get into the deck list. We got 4 copies of Camellia Whip. Camellia Whip showing out here, just getting that ability to not lose life when your opponent has, fewer BP than the Spirit does when it's exhausted. And a lot of aggro decks don't go, above 4,000 BP. So if they can't remove the Camellia Whip, then they just can't do damage to you. So really, really good card in a best of 1 style format. 4 copies of Beldegor, because Beldegor is that boy. Then we got 4 copies of Crimson Knight, getting that Cursed and Confront, all for a total of 4 cores if you have full reduction. It's just really, really good. This card is amazing for red-purple. And then, interestingly, we have 4 copies of Grim Gambler. Now, this is always going to come out for 2, but having that Immortal 2 off the Camellia Whip and 6 off of the Black Lance and the Dentist is actually really good. It also synergizes with the Beldegor. So we've got Gambler synergizing with Beldegor to Immortal here, and then Dentist synergizing with Beldegor and Crimson Knight, and Gambler synergizing with Black Lance and Dentist, and then of course Tyrannosaurus, if it dies, Dentist can come back. So we've got those Immortal loops, which I so love, seeing those Immortal loops, just be like, oh, this died, here this. Oh, that died, okay, here's this. Oh, that died, okay, here's this. By the way, now that you've killed this, here's the dude again. Super, super cool. Love these Immortal loops. And we got 3 copies of Black Lance, Best Lance, easily the best purple card in the game still. 3 copies of Dinosaur Knight Dentist, of course, with that Immortal 3 or 7, and then with the Wind Destroyed effect of giving a Pterosaur or Shadow Spirit Confront and 5,000 BP, and that's going to be a lot of stuff. That's going to be Beldegor, it's going to be Crimson Knight, it's going to be itself, it's a Pterosaur and Shadow, another Dentist, and a Brutal Dino Tyrannosaurus as well. So being able to give quite a few things that extra 5k BP and Confront is really good. And then 2 copies of Brutal Dino Tyrannosaurus, being able to summon itself out of the grave at the start of your attack step, trigger your Rotting Swamps and your Immortals and everything like that. And then, being able to burn your opponent for life as well and refresh. Just a really good card. Then 3 copies of Ruby Sanctuary. I'm assuming just here for that quick, cheap red reduction, it's looking like. 3 copies of Rotting Swamp, because Rotting Swamp is still the best purple Nexus. 4 copies of Deadly, because Deadly is the best purple spell still. 4 Ice Shield, 3 Core Theft, 4 Star Blessed Draw, because we're in color at this point, so might as well abuse the Star Blessed Draw. 4 copies of Doubly Deadly, and 3 copies of Hellcrack. Just straight up defensive magics for the most part, other than the Star Blessed Draw. Really, really cool list. Well done, Andrea, for making 7th place with it. All right, coming in at 6th place, we have Andrea L with a Star Dragon list. Now, this is a bit updated for set 5. We are seeing a Zamitza in here. We do see Ferocious Prison. So let's go through the card by card. A lot of this you already understand and know, so I'm not going to take too much time here. 4 copies of Rubius, 3 copies of Dynaman, 3 copies of Blazing Boar, 2 copies of Zamitza. Zamitza, a good card, giving Astral, being able to blow something up, recur cores. Definitely an interesting addition here into the Star Dragon list. 2 copies of Gray, 4 Andromeda, 2 Nova, 4 Ira, 3 Ferocious Prison. Interestingly, I think I like the Ferocious Prison and the Zamitza here because they're able to help contest against aggro. Ferocious Prison, really, really good when your opponent goes wide with a lot of weenies. Just on place, ditch a card and blow up 2 things with 2k or less BP. Really, really good card. Honestly, an incredible card with that, especially with that red-purple reduction. And, play this card and see what happens against aggro. It's really good. 4 copies of Volcanic Canyon, 2 copies of Deadly Balance, 4 Absolute Ice Shield, 3 Big Bangs here. We're running 3 Big Bangs and 2 Gray, 4 Star Blast, 4 Ancient Draw, and 2 Burning Force. Nothing too crazy here, just a bit of tech with the Zamitza and the Ferocious Prison, 2 Burning Force, and the 2 Deadly for, easy, quick, removal. It's Star Dragons doing Star Dragon things, and we're not really surprised that it made top 8. Either way, a big congrats to Andrea for making 6th place with this list. All right, and in 5th place, we've got Sebatiano F with token aggro. We got green aggro up in here, and this looks pretty dang close to the list that we shared earlier by EJ Ori, that he took to ProFest at Gen Con. And you know, green aggro, bug aggro, very, very strong deck. 4 copies of Matt Butterfly, 3 copies of Ant-Man Soldier, just good, powerful, a good, powerful creature that comes out for cheap. A single copy of Immorant Man, 3 copies of Leaf Wolf. Leaf Wolf still being an incredible swift target, you know, coming down for you only costing 2, being an just incredible card. 3 copies of Ant-Man General. That token does come in exhausted, but if they don't remove it, it's going to be refreshed the next turn. 4 copies of Armament Container, having that AT field, so it has that protection from Spirit Destruction and then being able to ramp. 4 copies of Wave Rider Garrett, and it just comes in for as little as 1 with Swift, a very, very good card. 3 copies of Worker Ant-Man. He dat boy, he's still working. 3 copies of Emerald Pincer to get some exhaust in. 3 copies of Scope Owl. You know, getting that Swift in, exhausting something when destroyed, and not being tied to a level. Scope Owl still showing up and doing work. 4 copies of Gale Ninja Ant Shadow. Again, we are creating tokens here with Ant-Man General. We do have the Ant Strike back as well, and we have the Archduke King Taurus. So that Gale Ninja Ant Shadow coming in, creating the token, stood, being able to swing and ramp onto all of the Ant-Man tokens, just all of the tokens in general. Just a really, really good card. And then, of course, finally, the 3 copies of Archduke King Taurus, showing us that he's still good. Archduke King Taurus is still really, really good. And everybody who slept on this card, they're learning that they were wrong. And I'm really glad because I love this card. And then finally, for our magics, we've got 4 Star Blessed, 4 Ant Strike Back, 4 Thorn Prison, 38 Spirits, 12 magics. Very nice combo here. No ice shields, we're not doing anything, we're just going burr, going fast, going green. Congratulations to Sebatiano for making 5th with green aggro. Bug aggro, I'm sure EJ is proud of you, and we are too. Coming in at 4th place, we've got Theodore L with a very straight up yellow Fabled Beast. No new set 5 cards in this deck, actually. Not at all, just straight up traditional Fabled Beast. Card by card, we've got 2 copies of Beldegor. Interesting tech here with 3 copies of Glider Rider Barask. Somebody's a Barask believer, and I absolutely love you for that. If you've never seen this card before, what it does is when summoned, you mill the top card of your opponent's deck. If it's a spirit card, you draw a card. Otherwise, you ramp. So regardless, you get some sort of benefit, either a core ramp or a card draw. It's just really, really good. 4 copies of Hippo, 3 copies of Arcana Knight Hex, allowing you to draw when you get some blessed triggers. 3 copies of Clockadile, getting blessed when it has the Soul Core on it. 4 copies of Duel Eagle, probably one of the best yellow Fabled Beast spirits. 4 copies of Hundun, showing that this card is just a menace, absolutely annoying on attack or block. It's a lightning arrow, and you know, it allows you to find the Fabled Beast when it's destroyed. 2 copies of Mott Genbu, getting that ascend and that double symbol attack in. 3 copies of 10 Millennia Turtle Genbu, and you know, Genbu target Genbu is definitely a thing here with 2 damage. 3 copies of Blessed Cathedral, 4 copies of Phantasmal Paradise. And into the magics, we got 4 Ice Shield, 2 Godslaying, 3 Lightning Arrow, 4 Star Blessed Draw, and 3 Exhaust Nexus. Theodore not playing around, going traditional, going safe, going Fabled Beast, and just overall a solid deck list. Godslaying to kill big stuff, Lightning Arrow to say no, Exhaust Nexus to, you know, kill weenies and fight against the aggro and everything like that because they're not very big, so we blow them up. Mott Genbu as well, being able to come down and take care of stuff. And again, just getting those blessed triggers and slowly whittling down the opponent. Very well done. Congratulations to Theodore L for making 4th place with this traditional yellow Fabled Beast. All right, we're into the top 3, and coming in 3rd place is Maximiliano I with purple yellow. Let's go, baby. Purple yellow. Very happy to be able to just talk about this list because there's a lot going on here. Lots of text. In the card by card, we've got 4 copies of Dark Demo Bones, just a really good, solid upgrade to regular Demo Bones. Can come out for free. It's got that purple-yellow reduction all around, just a good card. 3 copies of Detective Pintan, and this card's going to be allowing you to get a yellow magic card from your trash and return to your hand when it's destroyed with Soul Core. And there's a lot of good yellow magic cards here in this list to bring back from the trash. 2 copies of Freestyle, allowing you to, draw when one of your multiple 2-drops get destroyed in battle. 4 copies of Lost Chip, and this card is disgusting. Cathedral into put 3 cores on it, play Lost Chip, swing, it dies, ramp and draw. Anybody? Yeah, really, really good. Excellent, incredible card. 1 single copy of Resignation Angel Cineris, allowing it to refresh all spirits that cost 2 when it's destroyed by an opponent. And this when it attacks effect is something that you do need to look out for. It's not anything to be scoffed at, because if they're on low cores on the spirit and reduces BP by 1,000, then it can be in line with a lot of your low cost spirits BP wise to have to trade instead of value block. A single copy of Beldegor here. If it ends up in the trash, it ends up in the trash and we can Immortal with it, but it's just kind of there. 4 copies of Grim Gambler, because we have a lot of 2s and a lot of 6s, and this thing can Immortal for free. Very, very cool card. 2 copies of Death Swordfighter Dullabone. This card is a really, really good promo, having Curse, being able to remove a core, being able to summon a 2 cost without paying its cost from the trash. Very strong card. 2 copies of Black Lance, because it's got that curse and we do want to be able to draw some cards off of it. Black Lance, still best lands. And 4 copies of Miser Glut Vault to round it out, giving all of your yellow spirits curse. And that's basically everything except for Black Lance and Beldegor. And Black Lance already has curse on its own. So he gives himself curse as well, because he is a yellow spirit. And then being able to basically core strip down a spirit when it attacks and reduce another spirit's BP by 2,000. You can potentially kill 2 spirits with this. On to the Nexus, we have 3 Blessed Cathedral, because we're in a yellow deck, and Blessed Cathedral is really, really good for this. 2 copies of Rotting Swamp. Very interesting, only 2 copies of Rotting Swamp. You'd think that there'd be more, but it looks like Maximiliano decided to run with the 4 copies of Underworld Casino, because there's a lot of 2-drops in this deck, and being able to, strip a spirit down to 1 core just for summoning a 2-drop, and then remove that last core when that 2-drop is destroyed, is actually very, very strong. Underworld Casino, actually a much stronger Nexus than a lot of us thought it would be, especially in the MainDeck Masters, our play group. Our purple yellow, like Jose and Izzy, are both very, very high on Underworld Casino, and I understand why. Like, it's just a very annoying card. Into Magics, we have 3 Deadly Balance, 4 Ice Shield, a single copy of Godslaying. Definitely an interesting one of in the deck, because, I mean, there's a lot of 2s, you're gonna kill something big. 2 copies of Lightning Arrow, saying no, you cannot attack, no, you cannot block. 2 copies of Death Accompaniment, which is a great pairing with the 4 Underworld Casino, being able to, play something, tap down, 1 or 2 Underworld Casinos, strip 2 things to 1, and then Death Accompaniment to just completely remove it. Definitely a good card to see in here, paired with the Underworld Casino. Then we've got 2 Hellish Birthday, allowing us to bring back 2 2-cost spirits, and make it to where your 2 cost can't be blocked by your opponent's spirits with 1 core. So it just, again, it works really, really well with the Underworld Casino. And then 3 copies of Exhaust Nexus. Honestly, I love this deck. This is chef cookery at its finest. Just masterpiece. Congratulations, Maximiliano, for taking 3rd with this beautiful yellow-purple deck. And you thought the chefs were done after that yellow-purple deck? Well, you're wrong, because we got Nicolo M with Oath Mandala. Mandango still coming in clutch, still doing work, and this list is... it's something. This list is just... it seems all over the place, but Nicolo managed to pilot it to 2nd place, so very, very cool here. And honestly, this is one of those lists that if you didn't build it or you haven't played against it, you're gonna look at this and go, what the hell? But let's get into the card by card so we can hopefully help explain it a bit. We got a single copy of Beldegor, because Beldegor, he's still just that boy, and he's still just that good, that just having him for that recursion is just really good. 3 copies of Blot Golem, not only being able to block your opponent's spirits that cost 5 or fewer, But having Crush, being able to start milling your opponent out pretty early with that block golem is still very, very good. 4 copies of Clionetta, because we need to draw, we're trying to draw through our deck to see our combo pieces, because this is a piece-reliant deck, and just being able to spin that Soul Core, destroy a Nexus, and draw 2 cards is going to be very good. And it pairs very well with this Volcanic Island that we see down here at 4 copies. And we have 2 copies of Waterfront Assassin Izo-Ot. It's got Swift. You can bring it in, place a core from the Void on one of your Nexuses, chain blue, and then turn that Nexus into a Golem Spirit, getting that Volcanic Island into a Golem Spirit, being able to block with it, and it still being able to survive since it has that When Destroyed ability is really, really good. Izo-Ot, definitely a good defensive card here. A single copy of Cthulhu Shark. He's that oh shit button. He pairs really well again with Volcanic Island. Just Shark, even like Synthetria, just really, really good. There's so many good strategies that came out because of Volcanic Island, that like self Nexus destruction strategies, that really happy to be able to see it. Then we have 4 copies of Water Worm Caldera Dragon, giving kind of that inevitability. Just discard a card, grab a Nexus back or multiple Nexus backs, being able to destroy things and just destroy a Nexus to refresh it over and over again. Just very strong. And if you got your Victory Oath destroyed by your Clionetta or by your Cthulhu Shark or even by your another Caldera Dragon, bring back the Victory Oath, play the Victory Oath, and you know, both players drawing 2 again and again. Definitely very interesting. Plus Impaler Forest here that we see, being able to get that back with Caldera Dragon is also very good. And then finally we have 2 copies of Truth God Mandala, and we're going to be milling our opponents out quite a bit between Mandala, Block Golem, just Victory Oath making them draw cards, and Impaler Force being able to get the Mandalas back. Mill 12 please over and over again is going to be very, very strong. Only 17 spirits in this deck, and honestly, that's all we need. We just need the 17 spirits that we got, and we've got a solid game plan. Onto the Nexus, we got a single copy of Impaler Forest, again, to be able to very likely get that Truth God Mandala back, possibly the Cthulhu Shark, the Izo-Ot, but honestly, its main target is that Truth God Mandala, being able to play it over and over again, turn after turn, and finally mill your opponent out. And then we got 4 copies of Victory Oath, making both you and your opponent draw 2 cards. It gets you closer to your pieces, and it gets your opponent closer to deck out. They do draw them, but, you know, that's 2 cards out of their deck. And then 4 copies of Volcanic Island, a Nexus that just never dies. And then giving something Confront is actually pretty good. 3k BP and Confront, definitely something, not anything to scoff at. Then onto Magics, we have a single copy of Deadly Balance, 4 copies of Strong Draw, 4 Absolute Ice Shield, 4 Star Blast Draw, 4 Floodstream, 2 Raging Tide, 4 Water Spout, and a single copy of Poseidon Crush. Having your opponent, destroying your opponent's spirit that costs the least, and then select one of their Nexuses that cost 3 fewer and destroy it with Chain Red. That cost the least and destroy it ability is very interesting because you can manipulate it into it being a very high costed spirit by already destroying their low cost spirits. And you know, very, very good. So we've got 4 Floodstream, 2 Raging Tide, 4 Water. We're pretty good against aggro. We just have to make sure that we're able to see them with the Strong Draw, the Star Blast Draw, the Clionetta, the Victory Oath. There's so much draw in this deck, plus the Poseidon Crush and the Water Spout, making something its max level, being able to basically Volcanic Break something. Very, very cool. Super, super hype about this deck. Nicolo, you cooked. Proud of you. You made 2nd place. Congratulations. And finally, taking home the crown, 1st place is Christian G with the exact same Star Dragon list that we saw Andrea play. It's the same list. It's the exact same list. They probably likely cooked together. I'm pretty sure they cooked this list together, because who's going to do the exact same list without cooking it together? And there's really not much to say here. We've already gone over this deck, and Star Dragons won. Best of 1 online summoner duel. Ban Big Bang, I guess. Not to take anything away from Christian G. Congratulations for winning. But, like, we had so many cool decks. We just showed off so many cool decks. Ira's too good, man. Like, turns out mana cheating 35 mana in a single turn is really fucking good. So, congratulations, Christian. I'm going to stop talking about this deck before I get upset. And that is your top 8 breakdown from the RaidnTrade EU online Summoners Duel. I hope you guys enjoyed. Deck lists, of course, will all be down in the description for you to steal for yourself. Make sure to like and subscribe. It helps out more than you think. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you in the next video.